It's San Antonio opening up a huge gap. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this. And San Antonio shooting has been fun to watch in this game. They're at 57%. We got Doug McDermott. Brooks is out there with Heinrich. Then there's Boss, and it's Bairstow in at the 5. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Diaw's gone a perfect 3 for 3 so far. Dishes it to McDermott. Wing shot on the way. Off the left rim and out.
Ill-advised shot selection right there, Clark.
It really was. I mean, very low percentage shot there.
Perseverance paying off on the offensive boards, guys.
Tony Snell's checked in for Chicago. The Spurs making a switch here.
Well, for Tim Duncan and the Spurs, an incredible legacy of dominance. In his 17 years in the league, the Spurs have never won less than 61% of their games. Not to mention, of course, 5 finals appearances and 4 NBA championships.
And Anderson gets it to go.
No matter who it is, that kind of defense is not going to cut it.
Heinrich passes to McDermott. Here's Bairstow. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And the Spurs have done an amazing job, Clark, over the years surrounding Duncan with the right kind of talent.
And Tim Duncan has done a great job leading and making adjustments in his own game. They're a team with great scouting and development of their players. You talk to players who've been there. That's one of the things they rave about, Kevin, is they get the attention for their individual development. And all of their players were not lottery picks. Most of them were mid, late, first-round picks, some second-round guys. And it's just another example of doing it the right way at the highest level.
Into the Bulls, shooting struggles apparent. 37% from the field. Heinrich kicks to Snell. Diaw with the steal. Here's Simmons, and there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Well, this is how you completely rattle an opponent's rhythm.
Yeah, such terrific on-the-ball defense to trigger the transition opportunity.
And it wasn't just the tough D, it was the exclamation point they put on the fast break with the slam.
Here's Anderson. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Well, I tell you what, Kyle Anderson out of UCLA was one of the most productive and most unique players in the 2014 draft. I mean, his beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I love his game. He's not a great athlete or defender. All he does is make winning plays. He's a 6'9" point forward, excellent rebounder, passes at a very high level. He sees things 2 or 3 frames ahead. In the right system with the right coach, this guy could be very special.
And Clark, Kyle Anderson finding a great fit with the San Antonio Spurs. His game often compared with that of Boris Diaw, who was so important in the finals against Miami last season for the Spurs.
You heard me mention before that you don't have to be a great athlete to be a really good basketball player.
I like that comment by the way.
Boris Diaw is an example of that. Chris Mullen would be an example. Larry Bird. Magic Johnson was not an off-the-charts athlete, Kevin, but a fantastic basketball player. Kyle Anderson. Slow motion, they call it.
Yeah, how about him?
He is nice. I'm telling you, this kid has tremendous basketball ability. He does everything. There's not anything.
Fluid.
Oh, so smooth. I love watching him operate and work. Just the kind of player that'll fit in nicely in San Antonio.
And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession.
17 seconds on the shot clock. 17.
We're in the fourth quarter here. Just under 2.5 minutes gone. And Aldridge comes over to help. The shot is off from Bairstow.
I tell you, the defense was right there, just waiting, doing a nice job of anticipating that play.
Steve, every team needs tough interior defense to be successful.
As great as Aldridge was in the first half of last year, you felt like he was going to really kick it into overdrive in the second half of the season because of his all-star snub.
And Aldridge, in saying he should have been a starter in last year's all-star game, probably comparing the Blazers' record at the time to that of Kevin Love's of Minnesota.
Yeah, but it's not just team success. I mean, one thing for Aldridge, he takes some tough shots. A 23-point-per-game score, but his shooting efficiency was actually below average last season.
Well, jersey advertising, an idea that had been bandied about for a long while. Last season, in lieu of that, the league tested out advertising on the court apron for the first time, as well as a small ad on the top of the backboards. So the league, of course, always looking for new revenue streams.
And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A three-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
Boy, they've been so sound offensively in the second half. I love the way they're playing.
Yeah, there's really no comparison in the shooting percentages between the teams since the break.
Bulls moving the ball around. Heinrich passes to Boss. And he slams it one-handed. And that's how you exploit a gap in the D, I guess. Huh?
Yes, sir. No soft finish there. Major power.
Wow.
He knows an opportunity for the highlight reel when he sees one.
Here's Aldridge. Nice pass, nice catch, and a resounding dunk.
You know, the dunks are few and far between for the big guy, but every once in a while we get one just like that.
It's not hard to believe that kind of size might keep you from being a high flyer.
Yeah, that's a lot of man right there to try to get up off the ground, Kevin.
And Steve, you mentioned the apron advertising. It's only being allowed for locally broadcast games.
And I think that makes sense, Kevin. Viewers probably see it more than they would see stitching on a player's jersey, and I think keeping the ads off the court and the players is a good line to draw.
Boss passes to McDermott. Here's Bairstow. The second chance effort. Misses at the rim. For San Antonio, they've gone 7 of 7 from the field to start the final quarter. What an amazing start. Aldridge. It's hauled in by the Bulls. Here's Snell. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
McCallum dishes to Anderson. And Simmons kicks to Aldridge. The turnaround jumper, and that one's good. Aldridge has got 8 here in the quarter.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
Yeah, the defense has been futile here. 5 of the last 6 field goals in the lane.
Heinrich passes to Bairstow. There's the bucket, good.
Man, he has been their unquestioned leader offensively this quarter.
For San Antonio, they've gone on a tear here in the fourth. They're 8 of 9 on field goal attempts in the quarter.
Well defended, and he's not someone who responds well to that kind of defensive pressure. And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, dominating performance for the Spurs.
And they could do no wrong today, Steve. That's right. This was a team performing to its Clark fullest capability.
Yeah, and a very satisfying win for him, too. A game to remember, and on the other side, definitely one you want to forget as soon as possible.
Here's McDermott, and he stuffs that one.
And he just used his height that time down low. That's going to be pretty hard to defend against.
And Simmons kicks to Anderson. Sinks the three-pointer.
Well, guys, tonight they came in here and really dictated the terms of the engagement, which is very difficult to do as the visitors.
You're right. That's not usually the way things work in the NBA. It's a great win, and no question, it's going to be a happy plane ride out of here.
And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession. Chicago making some changes. Mirotic comes in for Boss, and Brooks subbed in for Tony Snell. Stolen by Anderson. Uncovered. Another one falls for San Antonio.
They didn't take their time wrapping this game up. They pretty much did it in a hurry.
Yeah, they had a nice spurt to polish this one off.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
San Antonio's gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. The feed to Diaw. And it's thrown down hard with both hands.
This game's over, guys. I think we can say that with certainty.
Yeah, I agree with you there. We have officially reached garbage time.
Pass to McDermott. Here's Bairstow. And that time, also a missed shot. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth. West down low. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense.
Shooting from San Antonio.
And so he hits the technical free throw.
Frustration foul there. You've got to maintain your composure.
Yeah, he lost his cool there, Steve. I mean, you can understand it, but you can't excuse it.
Personal foul. 15 foul.
So he gets them both. Here comes Aaron Brooks. Brooks, left side. Beyond the arc. Stayed with it, but they couldn't get it to fall. Puts up a prayer. Missed. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one.
LaMarcus, it looked